let's focus on something that we're looking at here. Okay, so let's say you're coming in, because we know that the independent voters, if you just dropped in, and this is the first time you've seen these people, and first of all, if you're an incumbent and you have not closed the sale with voters after 4 years and you're 2 weeks away from the next election, that puts you in a tough position. If you haven't closed the sale at this point and you've been the governor for 4 years, you're in a tough spot, because then you see the challenger. People break that direction. And if people were concerned about the competence of Tudor, well, I've never heard of Tudor Dixon, I don't know who she is she competent, could she actually do the job? I think she laid all of that to rest. So if there's a propensity for there to be a break toward the challenger, which often happens, as you know, in these races, I think that she did everything she could to make that sale. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, these debates and why they're so important, and it's great that we had two, and wish there were more, both here and across the country, is that they serve as job interviews. Viewers, undecided voters, want to see how do they perform in the hour, how do they perform under pressure, when they get questions maybe they weren't prepared for and have to think on the top of their feet. How did they react? Because that's important if they were in the position of natural disaster or something unexpected comes up, kind of how they would handle it. So it's a great preview of that. And, as it relates to the politics of things, yes, Governor Orr's in a tough position after 4 years, just kind of being around, in some of these polls, 50% or so. There's a lot of headwinds she's facing, nationally, both locally in terms of the economy, inflation, the job approval of the president. And those are all tough things to kind of overcome in this cycle. And she tried her best, I think, to try to stress bipartisan bona fides, going back with Governor Snyder to the current, Republican controlled state House and Senate, and tried to make that argument in terms of maybe President Biden or others are less popular, showing that she can rise above the fray and try to engage in deal making and things like that. So try to use the advantage of incumbency to maybe get some of those undecided voters back in her camp.
Yeah, certainly. I also think, and I've got about 30 seconds, 40 seconds on this next question. Maybe you didn't see it, but the debate between John Fetterman and Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania, difficult night for Fetterman. Not that he couldn't deliver on some of it. It was rough to watch, and I think that really could impact the race. 30 seconds. What do you think?
Yeah, it's possible. We kind of got a preview of this when he sat for the interview with NBC News, and the journalist said that he was struggling there. So definitely expectations they tried to set lower. But I think it's a tough situation for him to make given the timing of the stroke. But I think it's better that he do this and just kind of show that he's trying and struggling than if he would have dodged the debate and maybe even had more questions. But no, that race is just close like the governor race, and yeah, that could be a big issue. And nationally, that's certainly the story everyone's talking about right now as it relates to debates and politics.